What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, my name is Broderick. I'm a disc golf YouTuber, and I travel the country in this van with my girlfriend. I make disc golf content all over the place, and today I'm gonna take you through all the disc golf gear that I carry with me in this van.
There's three keys to disc golf: driving, approaching, and putting. You need all three to do this disc sport.
So this is everything that I currently carry with me in the van. You're gonna see a lot of Frisbees, you're gonna see some boxes, you're gonna see some Squatch bags. Use code Broderick, saves you $20 on any non-signature bag, directly supports me. But let's get right into it, I guess. I'll start with my current bag. It's, I guess, kind of like a little what's in the bag, but just a quick little run through. Also, what is in my bag might be changing a little bit because I've been at a little bit higher elevation, and recently my discs have started flying really straight and flipping a lot because I'm finally back at pretty much sea level. And so we might have to put some new stable stuff in. Real quick, putters, Marvel. I got a prototype Marvel for throwing, pretty beat up. Testing out this Wizard here for a stable thrower, and then a super soft tactic for approach shots. Two zones. So the zone for me was a disc that I've always had a love-hate relationship with until I found this one. This is what I call the Zone SS. It's so beat up that it just, you can get it to late turn right. I guess that explains enough of why I love this disc. A beat up stable disc is always going to be a better understable disc than an understable disc straight out of the box. And then just a little more stable complement here. A couple ultras in the side pocket. And then the main compartment. I'm a big mid-range thrower right now. I'm bagging 4 of them. This is kind of the slot that I feel like I need to switch up some stabilities. I got my go-to Team Stamp Buzz SS. I got this Buzz SS from either Terry Roethlisberger or Alex Geisinger back in 2020, I want to say, when they both, or Terry was already on Discraft, but then Alex went to Discraft. This is the year that Paul signed, and they got a huge allotment in. And neither one of them liked the Buzz SS, but I loved them, so I grabbed like 4 or 5. This is actually the only OG Buzz SS that I still have with me. Funny enough, this one, I originally threw a pink twin of this, lost that. This was actually Ethan's for a while. He beat it up for me, basically, and then I got it back, and it's been my go-to one for a couple of years now. Another Buzz SS, super old, 2013 Z. This one's almost puddle top, super nice. Buzz, super beat up. This is kind of where it's getting confusing because this Buzz at elevation is nice and straight to stable, and now it's almost a late turn. And then the Birdie Disc Golf Supply Rise, which is potentially, now that I'm, you know, at a lower elevation, going to be more like my Buzz slot. So really enjoying those. We got a couple Eras here. The Era is a disc that I feel like was so slept on for a lot of people for a long time, and it still is, but I think it's one of the best fairway control drivers ever. This one a little bit more stable, straight, and then this one pretty flippy. 169 has my signature Era stamp misprint on there. Shout out to Bedanza for snagging that one for me. I got a Star Firebird here. This, if you know me, you know, super beat PFN Star Firebird. Basically my favorite disc. Couldn't live without it. CE Eagle, kind of a, like, it's almost like this Firebird, just a little bit slower. Same with this Blue Star Eagle. These are both Eagle X's, pretty flat. This is kind of my forehand one. This is kind of my backhand one. This one's got a little more dome to it. We got the Eagle L here. The Eagle L is a mold that I think if you know about it, you absolutely love it. And if you don't know about it, probably keep it that way because they're hard to come by. I actually have another direct backup of this one. So we got yellow and blue. They kind of rotate in and out of the bag, honestly, depending on like my color scheme. So they're pretty much the same. I use these mainly for forehand flip up, kind of finesse woods shots. So really love the Eagle. A new addition to my bag lately has been the PD. Pretty much like an Eagle, but a little bit longer, I guess. It's more of like, I call it like a beat up backhand, or a beat up backhand Firebird. Like, it does Firebird things, beat up Firebird things, but it feels a little better on my backhand grip. And then I'm currently carrying a lot of distance drivers, weirdly enough, which usually I don't, but super beat up PFN Star Destroyer. This is kind of like all out bomb, tailwind, or that I need to kind of finish a little bit right, maybe. Horizon DD1, One of my favorite, I call it a fairway driver that goes as far as a distance driver. It is a distance driver. It's an 11 speed, but they're so controllable. This one's pretty flippy. This one's brand new, fresh to the bag, because we needed something more stable than this. We got a reach. This is not my signature reach. This is actually the Infinite Discs reach that came out like the first ever run of the reach, the VIP series. The reason this one's in the bag is I rotate the reach kind of in and out, or not in and out, but I rotate the one that I use in and out. So I have these reaches right here that are kind of like the money run, these day glows. This one, domey. I kind of have like a flat one, a medium one, and a domey one. And they're nice, but they're all max weight. And that's fine. I like max weight discs, but the reach bombs, if you didn't know, I think there's still some of my signature reaches available on birdiediscgolfsupply.com. Use code Frisbee Club, save you a little bit more. But this is a 170 gram, and I actually haven't thrown a 170 gram reach. So honestly, I just wanted to try this because I feel like a little lighter weight, this thing might go a mile. So that'll be fun. And then what do we got here? PD2 Skystone. This is kind of just for the wind. Usually it's not even in the bag, but I put it back in the other day because I had a little bit of a windy day. It kind of comes in and out depending on the wind situation. The Scorpius. This is my forehand workhorse. I absolutely love the Scorpius. It's an older run of Destroyer that's now made by Millennium, and I think it's one of the best discs ever made. I've loved them for a long time. This 167 first run Scorpius, it's my new forehand bomber, and it's pretty much brand new. So I hope as it beats in, it gets to be that just like flip up and go forehand disc. I throw these a little bit backhand, but they're mainly a forehand disc for me. And then Scorpius, the thing that's cool with Scorpius and Millennium overall is that they number their runs. So the 1.8 run of Scorpius is one of my favorites. So this one is currently in the bag, bottom stamp 1.8. Then I have the direct twin to it, another one here, so just always good to have a backup. And then I have another direct twin to it, except this one's a 167. So 1.8 run of Scorpius. If you're looking for like pop top, stable, not meat hook, these things are absolute money. And then my second favorite run of Scorpius is gonna be the 1.9. And I have 4 of these. They're pretty much all matching. I've acquired these over the last few years. And the funny thing is, this 1.8 run of Scorpius was actually the first Scorpius that I ever had. And I really fell in love with it, but I only had one of them. And I threw it into the water at Vista del Camino and, you know, never saw it again. And it was kind of unfortunate. And I couldn't find one. These are a little bit hard to come by because they're like they're one of the runs that people really like. And I lost it. It sucked. But then my buddy James back home, who kind of hooks it up with all my good stuff, he's a good, he's an Innova collector / seller, and he knows what to pick up. But I got this one from him. It's a 1.9 Scorpius. And now the 1.9 Scorpius, I think, is very similar to the 1.8 Scorpius, except they're a little bit flatter. And when I'm throwing forehands, I actually like a little bit flatter disc. It's a very neutral domed Scorpius. So these are kind of like my forehand workhorses. But since I got that first run, I started working the first run into this slot. And then I have the yellow ones, a little poppier for a little bit more distance. But these are kind of on the shelf right now, but they're kind of a disc that'll just rotate in and out. This is the first one I got. I got this one out of a used bin in Missoula, Montana. And I was like, damn, how did I just find a backup? The funny part is I actually lost this one in Bozeman, Montana. Went to Missoula, Montana, found this replacement like the next day. And then a guy I met there found this, got it back to me. And then both of these ones I got down for disc golf, and in Charlotte found these. They're both traded into the used bin. Haven't really thrown these too much because I haven't had to, but Scorpius, one of my favorite discs of all time for distance drivers. While we're at it, let's just get into the disc collection. Another Horizon DD1. I haven't really thrown this one much because it's Black Discmania. Before the re-release of these Horizon DD1s, of these ones, this is the second release of Horizon DD1. Discmania sent me out 2 blanks, and I immediately fell in love with them. They're just so straight, but they go so far. And I've been throwing this one ever since. This one's still pretty fresh because it's black and it looks insane, but black discs, they're just hard to find. So like, it's on the shelf right now. It'll probably make its way in the bag one day. We'll stay on the topic of distance drivers. Probably show you guys all my destroyers, I guess. So let's see, what do we got? Yeah, we'll go destroyers and then we'll go wraiths because we got quite a few of those. And I feel like I'm probably forgetting one, maybe. Yeah, up here, there it is. So Star Destroyers, obviously an absolute money disc. I got 5 destroyers. One of them's a pro though. PFN Pro Destroyer here. Pretty much all my discs I find in used bins. I'm a big used bin disc golf like shopper. I don't like paying full price for discs because they're just so expensive nowadays. But Pro Destroyer, this is like one of the furthest flying discs for me, but it is a little squirrely, so I don't really keep it in the bag too much. But if you got a tailwind, this thing would probably go an absolute mile. PFN Pop Top Pro Destroyer. And then we got some PFN Star Destroyers here. This one I got from my buddy James as well. This was the workhorse for a while. It kind of overlapped a little bit too much with my Scorpiuses. This one's pretty beat up, kind of a bomber. It flies very similar to the blue PFN that's currently in my bag, but blue honestly just fits my color scheme a little bit better, and I kind of have OCD about like random colors in my bag, so that's why this one's on the shelf. And then this one I bought off Facebook Marketplace for like probably way under what it's worth. Not that it's anything crazy, but I probably got it for like $5. Honestly, haven't thrown it a ton. I'm the type of player who, like, if I see old Innova stuff that are molds that I like and they're cheap, I buy them even if I don't plan to throw them right then and there, because it's always good to have. They're hard to find. And I got another destroyer here. This is kind of a bottom stamp max weight destroyer, pretty flat. I would call this like my water destroyer. Like if I was playing a course where I didn't want to lose like my Scorpiuses and there was a lot of water, this kind of flies similar. It's just a relatively neutral dome, flat top destroyer that I throw side hand sometimes, but it's one that I'm just not afraid to lose. And then another backup to my blue one that's currently in the bag is this Sandbagger Star Destroyer. I got this one from whatever that bus is. What's that bus that's always at Bradford? I can't remember. I know the guy's name is Aaron. Used bin, $8.99. Bomber destroyer. So pretty nice right there. We got a couple. Oh, I forgot the Wraiths. The PFN Star Wraith might be one of the best discs ever made also. The reason I love the PFN Star Wraith so much is because it tends to be a lot straighter than the current Wraith. And I had a Wraith that was almost identical to this one, and I actually lost it in Arizona this winter. It was super sad. And it was a disc I've had for about 13 years. And it was like one of the first, not one of the first discs, probably like one of the first like 20 discs I had. It was one of the first discs in like my first real bag setup back when I was a kid. I actually had 3 matching yellow destroyers with maroon stamps. And over the years, you know, lost them, whatever. And I had this one left, had a bunch of aces on it, lost it. And then I found this one at Down for Disc Golf in Charlotte. And beautiful replacement. The reason it's not in the bag right now is because I just haven't been playing many courses where I need a finesse flip up forehand distance driver, and that's pretty much what this is used for. I can throw it on some like late turn backhands, but honestly it's a little flippy for that, so I throw it for like finesse forehands. And then we got Johnny Bang Bang right here. I wish I could remember the details of this story more, but this was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember if Casey had this disc, Casey White, but we just had this inside joke about this disc saying Johnny Bang Bang on the bottom of it. And since then, we've both had other discs that we've written Johnny Bang Bang on the bottom of. And this is just like another PFN 12 time. And this thing's a bomber. It's like a pop top, but beauty. Another one I just got from my buddy James, actually. Little PFN Star Destroyer. Lightweight, 165, I think. I haven't really thrown this one either. And then last of the distance drivers, the Boss. This Star Boss kind of comes in and out of the bag depending on how I'm feeling, but this was my buddy Jordan. He had this disc probably for the last like 10 years. It's been in our friend group from back home for a long time, and it started getting too flippy for him. And not really too flippy, he doesn't play a ton, but he throws really far when he does play. And I think when he started yanking it, sometimes he thinks it's too flippy, so he switched up for a stable nuke. I think he regrets it to this day, but this disc, absolute bomber. Star Boss. Pro Boss here from 2010. Used bin fine right here. These Pro Bosses might be some of the furthest flying discs. If you see some older Big Germ in the bags from like when he first got on Innova, he used to throw these and people made fun of him. This is kind of why he eventually got like the Halo Star Bosses, because the Pro Boss is one of the farthest flying discs. But I think obviously getting a new run of like Bomber Halo Bosses out there, more lucrative for him, made sense. And Halo Star Boss also, this is a 168. I thought would be a bomber. I should try this again because it was way too stable at elevation. But that's all the distance drivers right now. I kind of keep all my distance drivers in this lure bag right now. Drew Gibson lure. Let's just keep going right away. We got putters up here. These are just P1s. I was putting P1s for a little bit, and I kind of felt like I needed a little more integrity on the putter. That's why I switched to the Marvel. And then the Marvel has a little bit better like feel right there where I put my finger. This one's nice and rounded, but the Marvel kind of has like the actual, like, I don't know if you'd call it a bevel, but it really has like a flat part there where you can put your finger. And it made me find a better, more consistent putting grip. So the P1s right now, not really getting used. Let's go into these bad girls right here. So few approach discs here. The reason I have these is kind of because I just can't let them go, if I'm being honest. The Tempo here, this is a money disc. Somebody dyed my face on it. Can't remember who I got it from, but thank you. This thing's sweet. I like the Tempo, but they go too far almost for what I'm looking for. A2, this is a disc that I pretty much will put in the bag if it gets really windy. Otherwise, I don't really need that much stability. And then Spectrum A5, which is kind of like my first Zone SS style disc. This thing is super money. It's one of them discs that could find its way back in the bag, but it would probably need like this one to get lost or shatter or something, and then this might make its way back in the bag. A couple MVP discs here. The Tesla. This is an old patent pending Neutron Tesla. I got this from Alex Geisinger. He thought I'd like it, and he was right. The only thing is, it flies almost identical to this yellow Firebird, and I don't really like to have a lot of overlap in my bag. So this one, it's just on the shelf, but it's too good of a Tesla to get rid of. So will it find its way back into the bag someday? Maybe, but for now, we're just holding on to it. We got a trail here, which brings me to a thing I've been wanting to, I guess, kind of talk about in videos. Let me grab this box while I'm at it here. So, as a content creator, I get a lot of discs sent out to me. A lot of discs that, if I'm being honest, they get thrown for one video and then I pretty much never touch them again. The Trail is a disc I like. It's not bad. It's actually really good, but it just flies so similar to the Era that I'm not going to take the Era out of the bag for this. My point being, I have a lot of these discs that are like new, I'd call them, and a lot of times I Frisbee Club stamp them. Would you guys be interested in buying these discs? I could either make like a little, like maybe Excel spreadsheet or something where I put up the pictures, and then I could sign them for you guys, Frisbee Club stamp them. I could do it on the back, on the front. I could put a ton of them on the plate, whatever. But I have a lot of discs, like the Discmania Drop. Will I throw it? I don't know. It might never like go into the bag. I filmed one video with it, and now it's kind of just sitting here. I got, you know, some Gannon Horizon Cloud Breakers. Like I could, if you saw this video, I could wipe the stamp and put broad signature cloud breaker for you, and you guys could buy them for like 20 bucks. I don't know. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, because I have a lot of these discs that iDog filmed a video. Might never touch it again, but it's literally almost brand new. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because rather than me eventually going to a disc golf shop and probably selling them all for pretty cheap just to make more room in the van, I'd rather hook you guys up with like a disc that's been in a video, and I could like customize it, stamp it up, Frisbee Club for you. Let me know, I guess, if that would be something you're interested in. This box right here, we'll just run through it real quick. It's pretty much, it's a lot of Discmania stuff. The Discmania stuff I love, but also I have so much good Innova that honestly is just not going to come out of the bag until it gets all lost or beats in too much. So I have, you know, Niklas Nordic Phenom 3. Things are absolute bombers, but it's like I got PFN Star Destroyer, so I don't need them, you know what I mean? I got some PD2s. It's all the Racer. It's all stuff that I like, Gorgon. But let me know if any of these discs that I do videos on you'd be interested in. Send me a DM on Instagram. This might be something that I kind of start doing eventually here, and see what happens, I guess. What should we talk about next? Oh, I guess we can finish this stack. We got a Color Glow reach. This is kind of just like a flatter, a little bit more stable runner reach. Prototype reach. So these are the first protos that came out. These actually feel really good. Haven't thrown this in a long time, so honestly, I don't really know. But the Prototype Birdie stamp is honestly one of my favorites. It's super clean and simple. So I should maybe try and like, I'm actually just tuck this in the bag right now. I want to throw that again. Oh, I forgot I had this disc. DGA Rogue, super old Pro Line Rogue here. Little Frisbee Club stamp. That's what I'm talking about with the Frisbee Club stamp, guys. If you'd be interested in, you know, purchasing some slightly used video Frisbees, Frisbee Club stamp. But this one has a super sick 2014 US women's stamp. The DGA Rogue, it's kind of like a beat up DD1 in a way, or a beat up Wraith, but it was in the bag a little bit at the beginning of the year, but I found that I only really liked the Rogue on backhand, and I couldn't quite get a good release on the forehand with them. So I don't know, it's a disc that this one's too cool to like let go, so I'm just holding on to it. We got a tilt. I got this one from Lloyd in Charlotte. Creator Series Lux Vapor tilt. I feel like if you get a tilt, you just got to have one just in case. For what? Who knows? And then I guess two backup eras. The white eras, forged eras, are money. Nice, straight, stable. Let's get to the mid-ranges. We got so many Frisbees, guys. This is insane. MVP Matrix. You might recognize this one. Done a couple videos on this. The Matrix is like, I always describe it as like your favorite overstable mid-range, but you've been throwing it for 2 to 3 years and it's super beat up. That's what the Matrix is. So it's one of those discs that I was bagging for a little while, but then once I got this Ultra pretty beat in, like has probably a year on it now, I didn't really need the Matrix anymore. So I just minimalized the molds, I guess. But the Matrix, absolute money. Same with these two Lucid Verdicts. These are discs that, if you know me, and you know like my story a little bit, I've talked about, these are the discs that taught me a finesse forehand. The Verdict is relatively stable, 540 3.5, especially these older ones. They're nice and flat. But it's another disc that just doesn't quite like, just doesn't quite have what I need right now, I guess. But I'm a guy who gets like I get kind of like a connection to a lot of the Frisbees that I have, and then I can't really like part ways with them. So we have these that we just hold on to, and I throw them every once in a while, but I've had them for probably like 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know, a long time. We got some backup Ultras here, nothing crazy. Backup Rise, another Ultra. The Rocks, bunch of rocks. If you want to hear more about these, go check out my recent video. I think it's called Old Head Broad Throws Rocks in the Park, something like that. We got Banana Club Glitches. If you know, you know. Me and Badanza, our collab stamp here. Banana Club. Gotta have a few glitches. Now we're on to like probably my favorite stack of frisbees that I got. The Buzz and the Buzz SS. Oh, and 2 Halo Rolos. These are another disc that if you would be interested in like custom frisbee club, by custom I mean my handwriting artwork. Halo Rolos, pretty cool. Buzz SS. You guys know it's like my favorite disc ever made. I think it's just the best super straight mid-range. I had a comment recently of someone complaining about the lack of glide in the Buzz SS, and he's like, oh, there's super straight mid-ranges with so much more glide. And I think a lot of players get confused that they think glide is like the most important thing in disc golf, and it's not. Glide maybe helps if you like can't throw very far and you need glide, but glide is, the more glide you have, the less accurate your disc is going to be. So for me, if I'm trying to throw a disc that's dead straight, I don't want a ton of glide. And the Buzz SS, I'll admit, it's not the most glidey mid-range. There's mid-ranges that are going to glide much more, but when it comes to accuracy, I don't really know if you can beat it. We got this old Circle Stamp Z Buzz SS. The pop top, not really pop top, I guess, but the slightly domey Buzz SSs are always going to be the most stable. So that's an absolutely money Buzz SS right there. Let's see, we got this super old Buzz SS. I love back in the day when the Discraft tournament custom stamps, it used to be the stock disc, but because the center of the disc was empty, they just put like the tournament stamp right on it. We got a 2011 San Antonio Disc Club presents the Fly Ink Open, December 3rd through 4th, 2011. This one had a bunch of ink. Got this off Facebook Marketplace for like $5. Frisbee Club the shit out of the back. But there's a Buzz. This one I think is actually one of the new like retro Buzzes where they started doing like the old cool stamp again, which I love. Discraft. I like Discraft. I don't love Discraft. I love that Discraft is going back to some of their more like vintage retro style designs, because I think Discraft has some of the messiest, the worst looking, ugliest artwork in the game. But the move that they did right was going back a little bit to the roots, I don't know. And and going back to like stamping just some simple OG artwork on there. I like that a lot. Ooh, these are some money Buzz SSs that at time they're in and out of the bag on it. Like I have this blue Buzz SS, kind of stays in the bag no matter what, because it's just, that's my Buzz SS. I know it so well. All the other ones kind of rotate through, maybe based on the color scheme I got going or just how I'm feeling. But we got 2 of these just absolutely money old fly dye Buzz SSs. This one's got another round stamp on it, but these are absolute money Buzz SSs right here. So good, guys. If you're not throwing a Buzz SS, I don't know what you're doing. Like, go get one. I think I actually have some more Buzzes and Buzz SSs. Yeah. We got more, guys. Don't you worry. We got this AB Buzz SS. It's, I think it's like glow or color shift or something. This one kind of has a cool story, I guess. So if you're familiar, I guess, with AB's bag, he has a super old Z orange Nuke OS, and he had one last year that he threw, and it was like his favorite disc. And he posted in one of his videos, he was like, hey guys, this is like a really super old, hard to find Nuke OS run. If you have one, let me know. I had one, and it was way too beefy for me. So when I was down in Arizona this winter, I gave it to him, and he just gave me this Buzz SS. I didn't really need anything for it. I just want to help, like, hook him up, because obviously he's going to do better things with that Nuke OS than I was going to do. But now it's like his go-to Nuke OS, and it's got a Frisbee Club stamp on it because he lost the other one, actually. So that's what we got this one for. Haven't really thrown that one much. This Buzz SS, got this one from my buddy Bondi. And this is just an absolute beauty. This is another one of them stamps that Discraft did that I'm just like, you guys are really putting out like nice stamps, and I'm glad you guys are like making some like retro decisions again, because that is clean. Which I guess brings me to this one, which is also clean, which is just like a little bit bigger. And watch, as the sun hits this, it's probably going to change to purple. which I actually don't really like because I'd rather have like a clear disc. It's weird because I thought these were the same, but this one's not the color shift and this one is. Another Buzz SS here, but this one actually just says Buzz. So I'm not too well versed on like the history of discs and the tooling and stamping of stuff like that. But I got this one from my buddy Terry Roethlisberger. It says Super Straight Modified Wasp Elite X, but this is a Z Buzz SS. So I don't know, all sorts of things are wrong with this one, but it's so right. It's a pretty flippy one. To be honest, it's never really spent too much time in the bag because of the color, but it's another one that I just can't really let go of. Another ESP Buzz, but basically flies like a Buzz SS. Got this one from my buddy James. Pretty cool. Peaks and Creeks Disc Golf Club. I don't know. Nice ESP Buzz. This Buzz is an absolute money one, even though it's a little ugly. Tried to get all the ink off of it. Got this one from Vista del Camino for like $5 last winter, and it's a very flat Buzz. It's pretty beat up, but it's a really good forehand Buzz. It almost is the same disc as my yellow PFN Star Wraith that's currently not in the bag because I only use this for like flip up forehand Buzz shots, and it's not a shot that I need everywhere, I guess. So that one kind of flies identical to this one, but this one I like better on backhands. It's got a touch of dome to it. Buzz SS here. The 2015 US AM Buzz SS's are a super good run of Buzz SS that's a little bit stable. To be honest, this disc is probably more stable than the Buzz that I currently bag. And this one's basically brand new. I got this one from my buddy Alex Geisinger. This is actually a Wasp tooled Buzz SS, and absolute beauty. That one I'm thinking of getting into the bag because I need something a little more stable than my Buzz. So Buzz SS once again. This one I got from Down for Disc Golf as well. I've actually acquired quite a few Buzz SS's recently. This one is actually probably the #1 backup to this one. Really flat. The flatter Buzz SS's tend to be a little straighter and probably have a little less glide. But this is kind of like, if I lost this one would probably go in to replace it. Super nice, old, just clean, but just a beautiful seasoning on there, you know. And it's a Buzz tooled Buzz SS as well. And then I think this is my last Buzz. Just 2011 Millstream Open. If you're unfamiliar, Millstream is a disc golf course just outside of St. Cloud, Minnesota. It was one of my favorite disc golf courses growing up. Ethan's mom actually used to drive us there before we could drive, and she would bring us to Millstream. It was like an hour and 20 maybe away from our hometown, and it was kind of one of those first like 18-hole disc golf courses that we really got to play. I wouldn't call it frequently, but we got there, you know, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I don't know, but it felt like every time we got to go there, she would bring us there. And so when my buddy James had this, I had to get it because I was just like, well, I like old Buzzes, and Millstream's just kind of a nostalgic course. It's just one of those old school courses that really I always really enjoyed Millstream because it was a course that really tested all of your shots. I always felt like when you go to Millstream, you're going to throw your whole bag, whereas there's a lot of courses where you go and you're probably only going to throw like 5 discs, not at Millstream. So I really enjoyed that course. We got a stack of putters here. You're going to find that the funny part is about this collection, this is probably a little over half of what I have, but I actually have probably like 4, maybe 4 more of these, like, I don't know if you could see this, but like 4 sleeve boxes of discs back home in Minnesota that honestly have some of my more like old school stuff. And so maybe I'll have to do another video when I get my hands on those next. It's one of them cool things where I actually haven't seen a lot of those discs in like a year and a half, so I kind of forget what's even in there. So maybe I got some gems. I do know I have a couple old Buzzes in there that I wish I had with me. We got a blunt gum putt. This is a new one, but the reason I got it, I should do a video with this probably. These are insane. If you don't know what these are like DGA, super gummy. This is like the first ever, like, you know, rubber disc. And the funny story is I actually used to putt one of these way back in the day, like when I was a kid, because when you putt this and it hits one chain, it just goes in. That being said, the release on it, completely inconsistent, but these are a fun disc. We got the GP2, oh no, the GP1 from Disco, Eagle Wig, otherwise known as. Kind of like an S-Line P2. Really good throwing putter, honestly. Just not really throwing it right now. The JJ P2, this is a super beat up D-Line P2. Got this out of the used bin in Nashville. And I really enjoy this disc. This is one of those discs that's, you can throw it on pretty much as much hyzer as you want, and it's always going to end to the right. It kind of comes in and out of the bag as a throwing putter. It's a little flippy, so if you're, you know, it's one of them discs where if I played a course that was a little shorter and technical a lot, I'd probably have this in the bag, but it's a disc you don't always need. Right here, this is just like a DX AVR, I think, but it's weird because it feels like KC Pro plastic. It's a super stiff DX AVR. I don't even know, it's just a weird one. And honestly, it's kind of the backup to that P2. It just feels amazing. That's why I had to get it. We got some KC Pro AVRs here. You might have seen these getting putted somewhat recently. And I love a good KC Pro AVR. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes they work amazingly. And sometimes I feel like I just need something more like a Marvel. I don't know. So I kind of keep a stack of KC Pro AVRs with me. Up next, we got the Prodigy putters, PA3s, a couple PA1s. The PA3 is a disc that I think is one of the best throwing putters ever made. I actually have a bunch of older PA3s that are back home in Minnesota as well that I wish I had with me for no reason, because I'm not even throwing them right now. I just kind of miss, you know, when you know you got certain discs, but you don't even, maybe you guys don't have that because you don't travel in a van, but super old airborne stamp PA3. This thing's like a late flip PA3. Pretty ancient. Got that at the Kaposia Pro Shop in South St. Paul, Minnesota, a while back. I putted this for a while. I only got one of them left. Now it's kind of like a nice neutral throwing PA3. Really nice frisbee right there. 200 plastic bar stamp PA3. This one I used for a while for like really just hit and stick approaches. It's another one of the discs that I really like, and it could find its way back in the bag, but right now I have such a love, not even love-hate relationship with throwing putters. I just love a lot of throwing putters. So it's a disc I kind of like rotate in and out. I feel like I'm a pretty good putter thrower, so the changing them up doesn't really affect me too much, I don't think. So I kind of just like to like throw a whole bunch of different ones. We got a 350G bar stamp PA3. This one, I think his name was Isaiah at the Hutch League. We were playing and I saw this and I was like, hey, do you like that disc? And he's like, no, I just kind of like have it. And I was like, I'll give you like 10 discs. He was like a newer player to the sport. And I was like, I'll literally give you like 10 discs out of my van for that. And so we went back to the van after league and I let him pick out like a whole bunch of discs. And then I just got this because if you know, you know. And then we just have a 128 gram PA3 from the Preserve Distance Invitational last year. It's a 128 gram PA3. It's like a glitch, but it's kind of stable. It's fun. And then we got a set of SE PA1, super old, super beat down. I putted these for a long time, never good, but it's another set of putters that I just can't seem to like let go because one day, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, when you have a connection with that disc that you just can't quite let them go. So, and these are really hard to find, so who knows. What do we got next, guys? We got so many damn frisbees. Real quick, we got the Innova shoulder bag. This is Paula's bag, kinda. I use it as well, but these are her discs. Two all-weather marbles, black, and then her frisbees. She got the new MD1 she's been trying out, little Mako 3, little G-Star Gorgon, and then her ripper, the Lisa Ficus Champ Roadrunner. This used to be pink, but it's so faded now. But that's Paula's in the bag. What else do we got? If you saw my recent vlog, you'd know kind of the story behind this Fade Crunch box. These things are just a classic bag. We got a couple couple Marvels here. These are kind of my backup for when it gets colder. They're the all-weather Jake Wolf whiteouts. Super nice run of Marvel. If they're still available when this comes out and you're looking to try a Marvel and you like a softer putter, try these. It's a money run of Marvel. Very flat. And that's what I really like in a Marvel, is once you kind of beat them in the dome, not dome, but they seem to have a neutral little top on them. It kind of sets down a little bit, much like how this one is. And these are super nice. These might be one of the best feeling Marvels right out of the box. We got the Halo Reach. Some of you guys have seen this one. This is a 167 grammer. Unfortunately though, it's a little flat. I feel like if this one was domey, it does go really far, but if it was domey, it would probably go an absolute mile. Raptor, this is another disc. Just used it for a video. If anyone's interested and wants me to Frisbee Club customize it, let me know, because I'd be glad to do that for you. Ooh, a disc that I love, but it doesn't, I don't know if it fits in the bag, is the DGA Rogue. Super old PL Rogue right here. And then another old but less beat up, I don't know what they call this plastic, SP plastic Rogue. These are like Buzz SS's, but they're 6 speeds. So they go a little bit further, but do they go far enough to kind of justify having them between like an Eagle and a Buzz or Buzz SS? That's kind of where they don't quite fit into my bag all the time. But I don't know, this blue one, sometimes I bag it. It's a really like a late turn guy, and this one's dead straight. The Rogue, if you've never tried a Rogue, try one. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but the newer Rogues are going to be pretty stable, a little more like a Buzz, but these older ones, they're pretty flippy. DD1, just an S line. That's another one, fully blank. Frisbee Club, if you're interested, let me know. Man, so many Frisbees. What do we got here? We got, oh, PFN Star Firebird right here. This is a domier one. I was throwing this a little bit for like a backhand, kind of in like the PD slot, but I think I just like the PD on backhand a little bit more. And then we have a Function. The Discmania Function has been one of the more fun discs to come out in the last like year or so. At least for me, I've never been much of like a understable driver type of guy. I like beating up stable stuff, but this disc is just fun, and it's hasn't taught me rollers, but it's made me a little better at rollers, and I'm really bad at rollers. But the Function, it's kind of just one of those sick discs that you can just do some really fun things with. Man, we are getting, oh, I forgot this whole, I forgot all these DD1s. We also have all these glow DD1s, the Nicholas one. I actually bought this one, really like this. It's I would say it's a little more stable than the Horizons. And then Discmania sent me these two Glow C-Line FD misprint DD1s. They know I love the DD1, shout out to Discmania. But they hooked it up with these. These are also money. One of these might be going in the bag to replace the Horizon, actually, because I don't know if this is stable enough, not at elevation, for kind of what I want this shot to be. Discs just hiding everywhere. Skywalker, I actually got this one from Casey. It has his super sick signature. This must not be his signature. This just must be what he writes on his discs. But this is pretty much like if I needed a replacement for this Eagle, it would probably be this Skywalker. Very similar feel, but they're stable, but they really do push straight. You guys know, you've probably thrown a Skywalker. Man, we have so many discs. Ooh, I got a couple right here that are kind of cool that I haven't filmed with yet, but they're coming, just so you know. We got World's Biggest Disc Golf Weekend from 1995. This is a 180 gram Cobra. Now, the Cobra is almost just like a baby rock. I'd actually never felt or thrown a Cobra, so when I first picked this up, I was like, this feels like a rock, but I know it's not a rock because it's too small in the hand, like it's just not deep enough. So I had to look up profiles of Innova mid-ranges, and then I found out it's a Cobra. So 1995, this thing's brand new. Got this in a used bin. Pretty cool disc. And then, you guys know I like nostalgia in disc golf, and I like older discs. These ones aren't necessarily older, but they're some older style discs. So Pro Starfire, which is a disc that I actually used to love. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I actually film with this thing. But Pro Starfire, video on that one coming soon. And then the Pro Orc, a video coming on this one soon as well, because I've never had much experience with the Orc. And the Orc is a disc that really only Nate Sexton throws, and he doesn't really throw them that much anymore, I don't think. But it's a disc that I've been told kind of recently that is like a baby Wraith, which I guess 10-4, -1-3 kind of makes sense. Innova and the -1-3 flight numbers are some of their best molds when they have the -1-3. So we're gonna kind of test this Orc out and kind of figure out, like, is this a forgotten or an underrated Innova mold? We'll check it out, you know? What else do I got up here? We got a Existential Crisis from Doomsday. Man, I have so many Frisbees, guys. Holy shit. Last Howl. This is a disc that I've been throwing with this Power Driver PD. Haven't figured out what one I like better. The Last Howl's a little newer, so it's a little more stable. They're kind of interchangeable right now. We're trying to just kind of work them out. Champion Katana. This is a classic disc. The Katana at one point, well, it still is probably one of the farthest flying discs, so I had to pick this one up because it was just an absolute beauty. It's a disc that we're kind of working with right now, but I haven't been able to throw a ton in the last few weeks, so I haven't got to work with it as much as I've been needing. Bedanza Sphinx. The Sphinx is an absolute money disc. The reason this one isn't in the bag anymore right now is because I got this era, and they honestly fly almost identical, and I would just rather bag 2 eras in that slot rather than 2 separate molds. But that's an absolutely money disc. What do we got? We got Pro Rhino, our Pro Rhino. You probably saw the video on this one recently. Don't need to talk much on that. It's just a money classic old school disc. We got the X UFO Star Zone in the GP2, otherwise known as the Temu zones, Temu stable approach discs. These things are fun. Did a video on these as well recently, so go check them out. These, I'd maybe, if anyone's interested, I'd maybe, you know, customize them a little. I don't know. These are kind of fun. They're good disc actually, so I don't know if I want to get rid of them. All right. We got some random discs in here that I honestly might just skip. It's kind of just stuff from companies that I haven't like filmed with or have filmed with, or I don't know. It's kind of like my random box. But I guess what I want to do is talk about quite possibly like my favorite slot of disc, and that is going to be the 7 to 10 speed, I guess. And this little compartment of discs is some really money discs. We'll just start on this side. This is the Innova Color Glow Banshee that came out recently. This is probably the only disc that doesn't really have like much of a, I don't really care about this one if I'm being honest. This is another one where if you want this customized Frisbee Club, let me know. And I'll happily part ways with it. I picked it up because I threw a DX Banshee, a Protostar DX Banshee back in the day. And it was so good. And I didn't expect this to be the same, but I was expecting to like it. And it's not bad by any means. It's just an overstable. It's kind of like a beefy eagle, I guess I would call it. So it's fine. It didn't really like connect with me. So just felt like I didn't need to throw it anymore. PFN Star Sidewinder, guys. This one I got from my buddy James as well. It's a disc that when at elevation actually flies amazing, but is now kind of just a roller. It's also a good like side hand flip up disc. Little too flippy where I'm at right now, but it comes in and out of the bag. Glow Eagle. Now this is an old Glow DX Eagle. Absolutely money. Eagle X. This is a disc I bagged last year and threw quite a bit, but then I kind of realized, obviously a DX disc, the older DX is a little more durable, a little more sturdy. It's going to hold up. But this was in its sweet spot, and I kind of wanted to just save it for rainy days. Like if I'm playing a tournament where it's raining, I know I can grab this DX Eagle. I'm going to have some decent grip, and it's a money disc. So we're kind of just saving that for when we need it. Factory second, Eagle X. Got this one from Daryl in Charlotte. This is just your stable backhand eagle. Too domey to forehand for me, but just a good eagle to have on reserve. Now we got this Vela 1.2 run Helio. Got this one from TJ at Eagles Crossing, local pro there, or he was the course pro, no longer works at Eagles Crossing, but he hooked this up. The Vela is basically an eagle, you know, flat top eagle. So this is kind of another backup to my CE and my Star Eagle that will probably eventually work its way into the bag, but it's just good to have right there. Another Star Eagle, but this is a Star Eagle L. But being an Eagle L, it's got a little dome, and this one's pretty stable actually. So it's a weird one. I haven't messed around with it too much, to be honest, but it's a pretty stable eagle that, you know, I just have, I guess, and one day it might make its way into the bag. Sexton 2024, you probably saw a recent video on that one. That's another disc that, like, if you're interested in a Sexton at probably below price and you don't care that it's a little beat up and you want me to customize it, let me know. Send it out to you. Oh, this eagle, 12-time but old champ opaque eagle. I bought this one from the Missoula disc golf store. I can't remember the actual name of the store, but this thing's an absolute money eagle. The only reason I don't throw it right now is because I have just other eagles that are kind of the same and it's just waiting its turn. But this thing, pretty much dead straight laser beam, kind of flip up, more of a backhand eagle because it's got a little bit of dome on it. And then let's see, what do we got here? There's one more eagle. Star Eagle PFN. This thing, another pretty much just backup. They fly identical. They're like slightly beat in eagles that flip up to flat go, but they're still gonna hyzer out. Super good disc. I love the eagle. It's probably like one of my favorite discs. And then recently I acquired this flatter Champion Glow T-Bird. Super beefy. Thought it was gonna make the bag maybe, but honestly it's like a little too stable right now. I need to probably throw this some and start working it in, but it was like more overstable than my like Eagle X, so just felt like I didn't quite need it right now. The next disc, the Orion LF, Quantum Orion LF, two matching ones. I got this one from Alex Geisinger, and this one, I don't really know where I got this one, to be honest. This is kind of a disc that fits the same slot as the PD or like the Thunderbird. I was throwing them for a while. I have these two like matching beauties, kind of like a Jolly Launcher like plastic here. It's another disc that is kind of just waiting its turn. Like it rotates in and out with like the PD Thunderbird style slot. So it's a great disc, and it's one that's too nice to kind of let go. So we're just holding on to it, I guess. Big Germ, I want to say this is like a 2021 or 2, really bored flat Thunderbird. This is another disc that is almost a direct comparison to my Firebird in terms of stability. This Firebird actually might be a little straighter than this Thunderbird. So it's a disc that once again is just kind of waiting its turn to, hopefully I never lose or break that Firebird, so I never need this disc. But if I did, this would probably be a good replacement to it, because it takes a long time to beat up Firebirds to get them to that stability. And then pretty much, I think this might be everything. Firebirds, PFN Star Firebirds, and I got a DX Firebird here. I got this at the Innova shop in Rock Hill just this few months ago, really, mainly because I just wanted a DX Firebird. It's funny because it flies really nice, but I have yet to hit a tree with it. I've probably only thrown it maybe 10-15 times, and we've kept it fresh so far. It's another one of those discs that I kind of just mess around with it, and I wanted one because the DX Firebird's sweet. But if I was playing a tournament where I knew there was going to be rain, it might make a little appearance in the bag. And then we got this PFN Star Firebird, Frisbee clubbed it, whatever this die is. Got this one, used bin, once again, down for disc golf. This one, I forgot who you are, sorry, but I traded a guy, I think a Mick Pro Rock maybe, for this this PFN Star Firebird. Once again, it's just a backup Star Firebird. And then we got the Superman PFN Star Firebird, which is a disc that goes in and out of the bag because it's a great Firebird. It feels amazing. Probably my second best feeling Firebird to my yellow one. But it's not beat in enough. It's pretty fresh for probably a disc that was made over 15 years ago, I bet. And I should throw it more because I need to beat it in, but I just don't for some reason. So hopefully someday this thing starts working in. But for now, it is pretty straight because it's PFN Star Firebird and they're not really that beefy. But yeah, it's a great disc. Man, that was a lot of Frisbees, guys. Holy, if you're still here, you're probably really bored on whatever night I post this. You're probably really bored right now. But thanks, because this video, if it's like 50 minutes long and you guys watch a lot of it, I'll probably make a good little chunk of change. Got a couple more. I guess we'll just run through the rest of them real quick before we leave. Another Wizard here, back up to the one I've been throwing a little bit. Another Wizard here, a little bit softer version of this. When I was at the Gateway factory in St. Louis, I just picked up some Wizards. Basically went through all the racks and felt the ones that I thought felt the best, and it's nice because you get them not even stamped yet. A couple Supras from Finish Line here, glow ones. You probably saw a video on this recently. What is this? I think this is like my goodie box. So this is like where I keep birdie bags, stickers, patches, all that stuff. If you would be interested in buying like a lightly used Disc Golf Cinema Frisbee Club custom Sharpie disc, maybe I'll throw stuff in from this because I got too much stuff in here. Let's just run through these real quick. What do we got? Honestly, nothing really good. A few Doomsday discs. That's pretty much like discs that I use for some videos. What do we got in here? Oh, more Wizards. A couple Trilogy discs. These are some other ones. If you guys would be interested, let me know. I think this is the new Morning Star from Gateway. It's like yeah, I think they just released, but I haven't thrown it. I don't know. And then the Goliath Waymaker from my buddy James. Stable putter right there. That's what's in that box. Well, guys, that is all my Frisbees. That's a lot of Frisbees. Got the 2 Lore bags here. Drew Gibson Lore V1, Arctic Blue V2, Arctic Blue Legend that I've been using recently. Yeah. If you want to support me and these cinemas while I'm out here on the road, guys, Squatch Disc Golf, like I said, code Broderick saves you $20. PowerGripUSA.com, code Broderick10 saves you 10% on pretty much everything on their website. And then at Birdie Disc Golf Supply, you can get 10% off as well. And they all directly support me. Birdie is just on Birdie Disc Golf Supply molds, Rise, Ultra, Marvel, Reach, Strike. I think that's it. But that is going to do it, guys. Let's get out of here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next one. Guys, I almost forgot. Another zone right here. Beautiful oldie. Another zone right here. 6 stamp Nui. And then a breaker. Little Pro Line breaker. Absolute beauty. Oldie.
Creator of Frisbee Club.
The man,
motherfuckers.
The man, the myth.
And right here, I have a Frisbee bag. It holds all my Frisbees. The ones I like.